Righto, in this episode we're going to start editing some tracks. So I'm going to go through the ways we edit tracks for basically how adventure riders would do it. There are various other things you can do with tracks, and you can really learn those as you go along, but this is the minimum information you need for basically editing tracks for riding. So let's just select Basecamp. And now you can see the left hand side I've got the whole collection, my collection, showing, and you can see there multiple tracks all over the place. This is a reduced one of my normal collection, so just to give you an idea. So in this particular case we want to utilize several of these tracks, and what we're going to do is join them and crop them accordingly to create a journey from Caboolture up to Elgin Vale. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is, it's going to be a day ride, so we'll create a new list, call it Caboolture Elgin Vale. And now what we'll do is we'll pick each track. So as I highlight the track, it gets highlighted in my collection. I'm just going to drag and drop it into my list. Just take a couple of minutes, and we'll just see how the time goes to see whether I can actually fix all these tracks up to get them in a reasonable time. And the last one. So with any project, when you're picking tracks, it's a good idea to pick just the tracks you want, put them into a new list, and then it is much easier to deal with them and to see them. Now, one of the things you need to be really careful in Basecamp is that I've purely copied these tracks from my collection, and they're still linked. It's still the same data, it's just a copy. Whatever I do to this copy, I will affect my original in my collection, and that's the same with any of the copy paste functions within Basecamp. So because I'm actually going to edit these tracks and change them, I need to separate that data from the original version in my collection. So what I'm going to do is select the first one, and then hold down the shift key, select the last one, and then right click and duplicate. And what that does is it creates a duplicate copy of each of them. As you can see, there's the original, and it's created an 001, created an 001 of that, an 001 of that, an 001 of that. Okay, so I'm going to modify the duplicate copy, which is in no way now connected to the original data, so I can keep all of my original tracks untouched. So I'm just going to highlight each of the original ones and just delete them with the delete key on the computer, which just deletes them from this list, so that I make sure I don't edit the original data, and I only edit the 001 duplications, if that makes sense to you. Hopefully it does. So my intention is to really now put all these tracks together in some sort of reasonable form to make one single ride. Okay, so let's zoom in on the first two. So we'll just highlight that one. There you'll see that the arrows are going in the right direction, so whoever recorded this track were actually travelling in the direction that I wish to go. If the arrows were not in the right direction, then I can highlight the track and select invert, and you'll see the arrows will then point in the opposite direction. Okay, in this particular case it was correct, so I'll just turn it back to normal. So as you can see, there's a bit of a gap between this track and the next track. So I am hoping, yep. So as I scroll out, we can see there is an actual road that connects the two. But if I was to select these two tracks to join together, he would just put a straight line between the two. So in this case, I'm best to create my own little track to join the two together. So I'm going to use the track tool, which is the 2 feet, or as we showed earlier, you can get it on there. But I'm going to use these quick buttons from now on. So now I've got my little pointer. I'm going to left click, hold it down, and then just with my mouse follow this road as closely as I can, and just stop short of the end of the new track. So there, it's created my new track. Slip back to the hand tool. So now I want to connect this track first. So the tracks are going to join in the order in which I select them. So I'm going to select that one first, and then I'm going to hold down the control key and select the next track. If I now right click with the mouse over the highlighted area, I can now select join selected tracks. Now you'll see this dialog box come up, and it's showing them in the order in which I selected them, and they look reasonable on the map. If for some reason they're in the wrong order, you can use the arrows to reorder them. In this case, if they're ordered incorrectly, you can see how in this particular case, because I've put my additional track first, it's trying to start at this point, go up that track, and then go down this red dotted line to the start of the other track, and then come back up this way. So the red dotted line is obviously indicating to you that that's not really a great thing to do. Although it would let you do it, you would end up with one straight line between there. So we'll reorder them in the correct order and click OK. This warning box now comes up to say, do you want to delete the original tracks? And as we've duplicated those tracks, I have no issue with deleting the original tracks. And you can see now they've joined, and we're now left with a new track 001. Okay, moving on to the next one. These are fairly close now, so it's a fairly easy option to just select track 1 first. Let's just get the name of this one first. So this is that Belthorpe Gymna one. We check the arrows are in the right direction, which they are. So we'll select them in the order in which we want them to be joined. So track 01 first, and then the control key, Belthorpe Gymna. Right click in the area, join selected tracks, they're in the right order, no dotted red lines. Click OK. Do I want to delete the original tracks? Yes. Okay, so let's scroll out and see where we're up to. So pretty good so far, all the way from Caboolture, and now we're up near Gemna, but we've got another little bit of a gap here. So again, track tool, draw ourselves, and join in track. Obviously I'm following the road, so I don't have to be that accurate. Okay, got my new track, back to the pen tool. So now in this case, I want to join this one first, then that one. My arrows are going in the right direction, and then on to this one. Now you can see the arrows are going in the wrong direction on this one, so before we join it we need to invert that selected track. Right, arrows are good, so in the order in which we want to join them, so track first, control key, track 1 next, and then as usual I've forgotten the name of that one. I'm hoping it's Sunday Creek Road. Correct. Right click, join selected tracks. In the right order, no dodgy red lines. Okay, thank you very much. And delete the original tracks. Right, scrolling out, where we got up to now. Okay, now in this particular case, this part of the track we don't want to use because we're going to join up with this red one. So we need to crop the track now. So arrows are in the right direction. What we need to do is home in on the point at which we need to now crop the track. And the best way of doing that is to highlight the individual track point from which we want to get rid of this part of the track, and right click and split track here. What that has now done is divided these into 2 tracks. So I have my original track 2, and it's divided the 2 and created this new track. And this new part of the track, I don't wish to keep that. So because it's a duplicate, there's no problem with me right clicking and deleting it, and it will take it away from all the lists. Okay, I don't need to keep it in its format. So now my ongoing track and my next one are pretty close and ready to join. So I'll just check the arrows are in the right direction, which say are, highlight them in the order they want to join them. I've forgotten the name of that one as usual. Yep. So track 2 first, control key, Sunday Creek, join tracks. Looks the right order. Joined. Right. Okay, we've got another problem with this one. In this particular case I need to get rid of this part of the track and keep this part. So first of all I'm going to turn my arrows to make sure they're going in the right direction. Invert selected track, then home in, and I think I will go there to split the track. I like that section. I can delete that from all this. and then I like this one in the order in which I want to join them, so track first and then control, track, right click, join selected tracks, and in this case it's going to create its own join because there's a bit of a gap, which is fine, and they're in the right order. Okay, and yep. Okay, how close are we now? So I'll just shoot through these without much explanation, and hopefully you can see how I do it. I need a bit of a joining track here. It's a bit off, but it should be okay. The important bit is the turns up here. Arrows are good on that bit. Correct there. What's my arrows like here? Yep, they're correct too. So sorry about that. So what was that one called? Mitchell Creek. So track 2, control, track, Mitchell Creek, track, right click, join selected track. Okay, yep, done. These look like a fairly good join. Yep, make sure the arrows are the right way. They're all good. And that is Candango Creek. It's track 01, so control, right click, join selected track. Yep. Yep. Hopefully we just got one more. It's pointing the right way, which it is. Track. Okay, so that should be a complete track now with all the arrows going in the right direction. And what I can do now is rename that as track A, Caboolture, Elgin Vale. Okay, so this list now contains, in this case, one track, but we could put more and do B, C, D if we wanted to. We could actually, just to tidy up one last thing, as we've done before, we can get the waypoint tool, and we can put the waypoint on that, and we can call that start meeting point. We can change the symbol if we want. I think, yeah, to many symbols. So we'll save that, and you'll see it's added meeting point to my list. And then, oops, didn't want that. So go back to the pen tool, and that's one of the things is, like I say, it's when you select these items, it can be awkward. if you forget you've got them selected on. And what I'm going to do is put another one at the end there. Put finish. And we can even be a bit flash. And I think there's a checkered flag, maybe. Maybe not. Oh, damn. I thought there was a checkered flag. No, I'll just use the cross. Okay, so that's added that waypoint. So now this list and this journey is all ready to send to my friends. So what I'm going to do is, with the list highlighted, is go File, Export, and you can see export, it's recognized my list name, so click on that, and I'm going to save it to my desktop as that file name. Save. Now if we look at my desktop, you will see there is the folder, the list, and now I can easily open up an email and attach that and send it to my friends. Alright, probably a long episode, but that all needed to be in the same episode, so hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Thanks for listening.